Team training team leaders, let me speak today, before I speak today on operational leadership or strategic leadership, I suddenly remember an African proverb, and it says, "You do not teach the paths of the forest to an old gorilla." My friend Napoleon and Wellington agreed to one thing, that the greatest military leader of all times was none but Hannibal. Hannibal, while in exile in Asia Minor, seeking to elude the vengeance of the Rome, he had so often humiliated in the field. Hannibal was persuaded reluctantly by his host to attend a seminar on military leadership by a visiting academy. That did he think and uh, and asked, "What do you think about it?" The king asked as they left the room with the rest of the audiences. Hannibal fixed him with his one remaining bright eye. He says, "In my time, I've heard many old fools," he said, "but this one takes the prize." My friend, this is a cautionary tale against trying to instruct operational and strategic leaders in a subject in which they are better able to instruct you. An African proverb, that is the heading of this training, must be, as it says as much. You do not teach the path of the forest to an old gorilla. If you apply principles, this the two selections of the subject of the next step, then the major parts of your organization will be led by those who already have the attributes of leadership. When it comes to operational and the strategic leadership, is presumed that they have all the basics and the advanced knowledge of leadership. But I feel the answer is it's not correct. All that such nominated operational leaders need before they take up their appointment is the opportunity to recalibrate, that is, to widen the diameter of their thinking about leaderships and to relate to the specific needs of the organization at this juncture of time. The same principle apply, my friend. The same generic role of the services, it serves as a compass card, but the task is more complex, more multi-standard and longer term. The team is much bigger, more diverse, probably more spatially separated, and it may well include partners or allies who do not actually belong to the organization. My friend, the individual is different too. As Ovid wrote of one of the leader, that he is the leader of leaders. My friend, to lead leaders, you have to be really good. For leaders can be quite complex as individuals. There are comparatively few principles in any field which can do it. The nearer you get to the top, the harder it is to find the right leader. An army of 1,000 is easy to find, but how difficult to find a general. This is what the Chinese say. You will of course have detected that I have been outlining some about something like an ideal situation, but then that's my job, that's my whole philosophy, to give you a vision. But I'm aware of it. Someone is very beautifully said it, between the idea and the reality falls the shadow. What happens? In brief, is that organizations that don't grow leaders end up by having to fill slots with those who are either not leaders or very poor leaders. If they are leaders at all, then is then an inevitable effect on morale. There are many surveys and studies I have seen, and their findings are very strange. The findings of many surveys, they say that over a third of any organization, over a third of the managers, and almost half of the junior managers rate the quality of the leadership in their organizations as very poor. Public sector leadership received the lowest ratings in most of the surveys, and half of the responding managers thought that their employees gave a low priority of leadership development, while 46% said that there were no specific budget for training and developing the potential leaders within the organization. Many of those interviewed I have introduced the thought that leaders often stop learning a particular point in their careers. Progression through senior positions does not always coincide with the continuing professional development, my friend. Responding managers, they rate the quality of leadership more highly if they are working in organizations that have a clear and a systematic approach for leadership development. My friend, I'm convinced, even for the operational leaders and strategic leaders, there is a need for a highly professional training, failing which the books come to mind as a Peter's principle of incompetence, that 70-30 principle. You read that, it will be very clear. Time-bound scale promotions, people go to higher position without having the requisite leadership qualities, and it becomes counterproductive. Thank you very much.